wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be a sovereign country. We want to bless our president and the past presidents, and hopefully make our politicians wake up and find you, Lord. If the world would follow your word, we know it would be a much better place. But men are full of evil, we know that, and we also know that you gave your only Son for our salvation. The only way to heaven is through our Lord Jesus Christ. We would only give our hearts, everybody give our hearts to Jesus. We got eternal life in heaven, a place so grand, so great that man cannot picture it. But the other who is not given their heart going to hell, which we all know is not a good place. So blessed in God's name that the men here would do their demos and everything with humility, and give their praise to you, Lord. You gave us this talent. Without you, we are nothing. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Everybody would kind of be quiet while he's talking. You would. I know you can talk up.
I didn't talk loud enough?
Just talk up, buddy.
Wes here is a former student of mine at the Trappers College years and years ago. So I know him. He come up with this new bear snare. When I first seen it, I thought, man, that is the slickest way you catch a bear that I've ever seen. Throughout the years of trapping, the trappers themselves have invented traps to protect the animals, to give them more comfort being caught as we're harvesting. It wasn't the government doing it, it's the trappers. When government steps in, we got things that come out like the so-called cable restraint that is not focused on the target animal, it's focused on a bycatch animal. And the target animal is left to suffer in these things. I mean, snares can be set to retain an animal or kill it. To retain, to hold fast a wild animal is putting him in grave suffering. So it's best to kill him quick, which all we like to do when we dispatch an animal is knock it down, kill it quick, very humanely. Trappers are the ones that have more feeling for the animals that they're trapping than anybody that's, say, the protectionist. So when he came up with this, I think it's the most efficient way to catch a bear today. Of course, I haven't had it out in the field or anything. I was just introduced to this new mechanism in Pennsylvania. And as soon as I seen it and the way it worked, my mind went, "Phew, how can I make that work for fox? How can I make that for coyotes? How can I make that for wild hogs?" And I came up with some ideas and I'll pass on to it. But again, I just give my knowledge and praise to the Lord to give me this ability. He gives the people abilities to do things. We have mechanics, we have woodworkers, we have iron workers, we have guys working brick and concrete that are just superior over everybody else without really having to try to work on it. It's just God-given gift, and He happened to give me a gift of knowing animals and figuring them out and how to put them in the places I want them, meaning the traps. And so I just want to give the praise to the Lord for my ability. It's not me. A Christian friend of mine years ago down in North Carolina told me trappers are not made, trappers are born. And I think that goes with every trade and occupation there is. So I'm going to turn this over to Wes, who invented this trap, and he can take it over from there and tell you all about it. Thank you. Thanks, Bruce.
My name is Wes Osborn. I'll give you a real quick about us. My wife Barbie, we are from Pulaski, Pennsylvania. 5 generations of trappers, fur buyers. We are running the North American Fur Auction Depot still. We have Osborn and Sons Trapper Supply that was from my granddad and dad in 1976. my boys and grandchildren now are following us up. So this trap has a lot of heart in it to us. We came up with this not ourselves. A lot of mind work in this simple device. It looks simple now, but from the time I started with a fella named Orrin Young and some of his friends and metal colleagues and plastic pipes and rubber, you can't believe the stuff we did. And the final of this on our thing came to me on a motorcycle ride with my wife as I watched a dog trying to pull a styrofoam cup off of a pipe that a little boy had dropped his ice cream cone in. That's a true story. That's how that catch device actually came to my mind. And putting that into a piece of steel and making it work, and then having my buddy work with this, and Orrin Young, the bounty hunter, he introduced me to a fella here, Steve Rankin, and when I saw it, I knew of Steve through Orrin. I never had a handshake. I was at Port Royal this year in Pennsylvania, and I won't get into the patent on this, but I will tell you, to get a patent on this trap was the biggest learning experience of my life. I never thought it could cost so much to have a little word that says patent and have so much time in something like that. And I will sell these until I'm very old to pay for that patent. But a pride streak, yes, but also, and my granddad taught me this a long time ago, and I don't know how exactly he put it because I was pretty little, but he did tell me this. He says, you know, he says, a guy that knows everything knows nothing. And somebody was saying last night, I think it was Steve here, that a guy who listens knows a lot more than a guy who talks. But today I got to talk to tell you what it is and let you understand what it's all about. So I'll try to do my best. I will open it up to questions because I'm sure you'll have some. But the basic knowledge of this trap is it is this item that I have here that I come up with a patent. This is it. And it is not a trap. It is nothing more than what we have as a label, and the patent is a barefoot snare delivery device. You couldn't catch something with this, you had to. You could smash your foot with it. That's about the only thing you can do. However, putting that with this, a barefoot snare, sold by Newt, Wildlife Control Supplies, other people make snares. This item, I'm going to go with a cost of $20 to $25. This will be what you have to replace year after year when you catch a bear with this device. That device you'll probably pass down to your grandchildren. It's a pretty thick piece of steel like your old steel trap. Everything's pretty well stainless otherwise. It's not going to fail you. If it does, I'd like to hear about that. But this part is replaceable. Like I say, you get hold of Newt, Steve Rankin, they're going to, those two fellows are going to be probably in the Maine and New Jersey area distributing these traps. And as well as my wife and I could mail you one. Believe me, we hauled the first 100 manufactured traps here, and I had 25 in my truck and 75 in the trailer, and it was a load. So we brought our first 100 here. They're available to you guys. If you don't get one today and you think, boy, I'd like to have one of those, you might call Steve afterwards and see where you can go with that, okay? You might call Newt. He's going to have them in his as well, if you're closer to either one of those. Or you can get a hold of us on our website at Critter Done at Pulaski, and somehow we will get you one if you're interested. The way these things work, and it's pretty simple. I mean, I'll make it as simple, and you can always tear me apart later. Comes with a carrying handle. This was pretty simple, chain link on there, carried in. We also have some bags, maybe a $25 and a $50 canvas bag if you want to go that route. You can carry it just like this. The device are all serial numbered, and the working mechanism, I'll try to show that to everybody, is this sliding. That's what's going to fire the snare. Very simple. Inside of it, there's a cage. If you see that cage inside, it's a 4-prong cage. That 4-prong cage inside of that unit is what you're going to attach your bait to. And I'll go as far as to say this. Steve went to a fellow I have not personally met, Randy Cross. This strap, according to that, is 100% legal in Maine. Warren and I have had these out in the years past, and if any of you went with Bounty Hunter, you're aware of that. He showed his COs. It is passed as far as being legal in Maine. That was a big deal before you patent a trap. But I got questioned on it, and I gotta say, if you lay this trap out on the ground, that's not gonna be legal in Maine. It needs to be at ground level, and that put this at ground level, that means digging a hole. A buddy of mine's a contractor, and I'm getting older, and I trap in Georgia with my wife in the winter. He showed me what a demolition hammer is. This works real nice here under the tent. Up on that rocky hillside, it may not. We've set these in bogs, we've set them on rock, we've set them anywhere, but if you could get that in the ground, that's gonna be your job. That's the hardest part of this trap, the whole device. That's the hardest part, is getting that in that hole. Last night I come in over with a shovel, and this was, Newt says, I'll have no problem digging here. He's dug holes here for many years. And I dug that hole in no time, and it was fine. If I had to put it out on that blacktop, I'm sure it'd be different, but a demolition hammer will cut through it straight down, and it will make you a hole.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can you, if you can't get it in the ground, can you bring the ground up around it?
That's ground level.
Okay.
That's a good question, and it's well put. That is ground level.